Hi, I'm Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation, and I'm here today to show you the new LR Baggs Voiceprint DI pedal. This is a very highly anticipated pedal. Baggs has been working on this for quite a while, and I actually had a chance to see and hear a prototype of this about a year ago when I was visiting the company's shop down in Nipomo, California, and was very impressed with what I heard then, and I've been eagerly awaiting to get my hands on one to check out, and finally got this in about a week or so ago, and have been having a lot of fun creating some patches with this and hearing how it sounds. And overall, it just can be said it's a very impressive pedal that I think a lot of acoustic guitarists and also players of other instruments perhaps will really get into it and will make it an integral part of their signal chain. So what is the Voiceprint DI? Essentially, it's a pedal that's designed to make your guitar pickup sound more natural, more like the guitar itself. And to do that, it uses impulse response technology, which is also known as IR, and that is a type of technology that perhaps we're more familiar with coming from the electric guitar world. A lot of sort of amp simulators use it. Some other signal process type of units use the same similar technology. In this case, what it does is it takes the sound of your pickup, the straight pickup signal, and it modifies it in such a way that it matches the actual acoustic sound of your instrument. And it does so by using your iPhone. And that's really how this unit differs from pedals that might on the surface look similar, using impulse response technology to match a guitar sound with an acoustic guitar pickup. With this, you use your iPhone to record your guitar. Use the internal mic on the iPhone. There's no external mic needed. You don't need to download any particular patches or anything like that. And you sync the phone with the pedal by way of Bluetooth to create a custom patch for your guitar. What you just heard is a patch that I made for my Martin OM. It's a custom shop Martin OM, so I created that patch. And I should say there are already some great videos on how to create these Voiceprint patches on your phone. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you how to do that here. I'm going to focus on the sounds of the unit, but I do encourage you to go to the LR Baggs website and check out some of their demos on how these patches are created. The great thing is that once you have the Voiceprint patches recorded and synced with Bluetooth with the pedal, you don't need your phone anymore. You can use this pedal on its own and use it pretty much like any other effect pedal. And you have some control over the sounds in here. So let's quickly go over the functions that are built directly onto the pedal. There are two foot switches. One is for a mute function, and you can also use this to completely bypass the signal and hear what your pickup sounds like on its own, which is particularly useful as you're going through the process of creating these patches. And there's also a button that allows you to scroll through the different presets that you've created. This is a very useful feature in case you're using more than one guitar on stage, because you can create Voiceprint settings for each instrument, and it really kind of solves the dilemma that a lot of us who use different instruments have in needing slightly different settings for different instruments. And with this, you can just step right through them and create these presets that sound great with each instrument, match the volume levels, perhaps different EQ curves, and so on. There are four controls. One is a volume control. That's the simple one right up here. It adjusts the output volume of the unit. There is a select button, which again allows you to go through the different settings, and you can see I've already created some here. This is the OM01 that I had earlier. I created one for Taylor 514 that I was playing around with. There's one for a baby Taylor that I tried this with. So it's very easy to create these patches. You select them, you push down. They are rotating knobs that also have a push function to lock the function in place. The middle button is called Voice, and that selects the percentage of the Voiceprint sound that is added to your pickup signal. So perhaps you really like the pickup sound that you're getting and you only want to modify it a little tiny bit. You have the option of just adding a little bit. In my case, what you just heard, I used 80% of the Voiceprint sound because I think it really adds a lot to this particular setup. And there's an anti-feedback function, and that is, of course, again, very useful on stage. And great to have it handy right here on the box so that you can take care of any feedback issues that you might experience. There's also a pad button, which offers a pad on the input signal, which of course comes in through a 1/4-inch jack right here. And as you can see, I'm plugged into a power adapter. This unit does need to be run with AC power. There's no battery function on this. On the back of the unit, we have a USB port. And that's mainly to do future updates on the firmware of this unit. But it's always great to have that option on a pedal that uses digital technology. There's a effects loop that uses 1/4-inch send and returns. There's a XLR DI output, therefore the name Voiceprint DI. There's a ground lift function, and on the other side there's a 1/4-inch output. Now the way I'm going to run it is I'm running the 1/4-inch output to a AER Compact 60 amp, which I'm just using so I can hear myself here in the studio, and I'm recording directly from the XLR output of the unit. So what you're hearing is a direct recording. In my case, I'm using this guitar with a Baggs Anthem SL pickup system, and I'm going to show you in a little bit how this unit interacts with your phone and how you can modify the existing patches, because that really is where the strength of this unit lies. Okay, so I now have the AcousticLive app, which is what LR Baggs calls the app that goes with the Voiceprint pedal, up on my phone. And I should also say that when I first heard about this, I thought, oh no, you probably need the latest and greatest phone to make this work. And I was relieved that even on my first generation Apple SE iPhone, this app works just fine. So you don't need the latest phone to make this work on you. Right now, it's only for Apple iPhones. There may be an Android version of this in the future, but for now, it is iPhone only. So as you can see, the app includes all the functions that are on the pedal, but includes a lot more as well. So right now I'm in the Voiceprint part of the app, and I have my OM test 1, which is what I called this patch, set up here. If I click on that, I see the other patches that I had created in order to test some different things. There's a Big Baby Taylor, there's a Taylor 514, another Taylor 514, because I was trying some different things. So if I was using these with different guitars all the time, I would have access to all my different patches right here. And I can also scroll through them right up here. Very handy, easy. If I wanted to create a new Voiceprint, I would hit the Create New Voiceprint button and go through the process. As I mentioned, I'm not going to get too detailed into showing you how to record these Voiceprint patches, but just very basically, you set the phone in front of you on a table or any kind of surface, pointing at the guitar with the phone's microphone. Record the instrument. Baggs talks you through a few different steps, playing chords, playing scales, tapping the guitar to create the entire frequency spectrum that your particular guitar is capable of. Now you might think a phone's microphone really doesn't have the kind of audio quality that a good studio mic would have. And of course, they are very different, but you do have to remember that the iPhone has a lot of internal technology to just sound good. It is designed to make your voice sound good and natural under all kinds of different circumstances. And when you think about it, making your voice sound like your voice is not that unlike making an acoustic instrument sound like it does. So I think this is a great way to handle the recording of the instrument part, because it is easy once you have the phone and the app, and it kind of leaves out the factor of different microphones and such, which of course could be fun to play with, but in terms of simplicity and still getting an accurate reading of your instrument, this really does work well. So back to the app. I have the Voiceprint. I can turn it on and off with a slider here. There's also a bypass button here. I can mute the signal that goes to the amplifier or the PA or whatever I'm going to. I can select the Voiceprint level with a slider down here. And there is a control, the anti-feedback control can also be done right here from the app, and you can analyze the feedback on your guitar, the frequency responses that would cause feedback right here within the app. There is a phase control in here as well, very handy to be able to flip your phase. And then one feature that I think is almost as impressive as the Voiceprint technology itself is an EQ function, and that is a very deep EQ, and it's really much deeper than anything you would find built onto a pedal like this. This to me is really what makes the Voiceprint work particularly well in a live performing situation, or really any situation, to completely match this with your personal sound preferences. I'm going to plug back in and kind of walk you through some of these sounds. Okay, so I'm plugged in again, and I'm going to start by comparing the patch that you already heard in the intro to this video with just the straight sound of my pickup. So again, this is a patch I created with this custom shop OM. It's a guitar with a spruce top, Indian rosewood back and sides. Now, if I bypass this, and I'm going to use the pedal to do that, hitting the left button for a few seconds, and I get into bypass mode. Here it is, straight with the pickup. Back to the patch. Back to the bypass. Now, in this case, I definitely found that the Voiceprint sounded a lot more natural than what I was getting with the pickup alone. Now, I've been using this Anthem SL in this guitar for several years, and I know I can get a good sound with this pickup on its own. I typically use a Baggs Pair DI or Baggs Venue to make some slight EQ tweaks to my sound, but I can make it sound good. But this made it so easy. I created the patch, and there it was. Now, one interesting thing, and I'm going to show you this again on the app, is that the EQ is just super powerful. I ended up doing a little bit of custom EQing to the plain Voiceprint system. I'm going to show you what it sounded like with a flat EQ, because you can see, the cool thing is you can see the curve that you're creating. So if I'm changing this to a flat EQ, I'm going to play again a little bit. Now I'm going to hit the flat EQ. Back to my custom EQ. So I find this very powerful, and there are some presets as well. There's a treble lift that you can do, and you can kind of see what that looks like. There's a mid cut, there's a low cut. There's one that they call Warmer that has just a little bit of a bass boost here with a bit of a drop in the extreme lows. There's a more bass function, and there's also a high cut, which could be useful if you have something that's very bright sounding or such. But here's the coolest thing about it. You can go back to the custom, and you go to your custom EQ settings, and now you can see that you have surgical control over each one of the EQ bands. So in this case, when I was flat, I got sort of a little woofiness right here in the C sharp area up here on my fifth string, and I knew it was kind of in the bass or lower mid range. So what you can do is I could take my lower mids right here, and just for demonstration purposes, let's say I want to find out what the most offensive frequency is. I can boost that and move it around. In this case, it was kind of right where you can hear how boomy that gets, and I can cut that right here and take that away, which is not unlike how you would use a parametric or semi-parametric EQ, but you have control over all these bands. You can also change how wide of a cue you're changing. If I wanted to say make the sound a little bit brighter, I could hit the treble button right here. I could find the treble frequency that I want to change and say boost that right here and have a little brighter sound. So to me, having this EQ function on this app could be reason enough for me to use this pedal even without the Voiceprint technology, because it would allow me to create different patches for all my different guitars. I frequently have a 6-string guitar such as this, a baritone guitar, a classical guitar, and they always need different EQ settings. And this is something I've been struggling with for years, stringing together different kinds of boxes, turning them on and off. And this would just be a very, very handy solution to use for that purpose. So very powerful to have this EQ function in there. I should say another beautiful thing about having this technology in the app is that there will be updates to the app, and Bags is bound to add features to this, refine the features on this, and I just can't wait to see what they're coming up with in terms of combining this app with the pedal. So overall, this combination of the Voiceprint DI pedal and the AcousticLive app is just a really exciting new type of technology that we haven't seen packaged quite like this in other pedals. And I think that it's going to be a real problem solver for a lot of acoustic guitar players. Even if you are currently happy with the sound you have, as I mentioned, I can get a great sound with this guitar and just a standard preamp DI with a little bit of EQ. But this just makes it so easy. Another option that you have with this is if you're playing the same venue, say you have some regular gigs and you're playing 2 different rooms, you could create settings for both of those settings and just step right through them, and you show up, you do your sound check, and you're done. And of course, home recording is a huge thing with this pedal, and especially right now, we've all been in COVID-related lockdowns. Everyone is looking to do good home recording. If for some reason you can't record at home with a microphone because it's noisy, you live in an apartment, you have things going on in your apartment or your house, this is a great way to fine-tune your pickup sound. You could really create a great, accurate patch of your guitar, use this to record with, perhaps refine it a little bit, add a little bit of reverb in your recording setup to this, and you could get a really nice recording sound with this unit, which especially right now, as I mentioned, all of us are trying to figure out what we're doing. People aren't playing out live as I'm speaking right now. So the home recording aspect to this is incredibly powerful and really shouldn't be overlooked. So there's no question that the Voiceprint DI is a very impressive pedal with lots of different applications. It was originally designed with under saddle pickups in mind, but it really can be used with a large variety of pickups. In this case, of course, the Anthem SL has a pickup and an internal microphone built in, and it's a great system, but even that can be greatly improved by using this Voiceprint technology. Now, if you have a pickup sound that you're not happy with, chances are you can greatly improve it with this, because as long as the guitar itself has a good sound that you like, you can really superimpose that natural acoustic sound to the pickup sound and greatly improve that. So very powerful in that way, and as I mentioned, both for performing and for recording applications, just very fun. And if you're a person who likes to kind of really tweak your sound, this has a lot of options, particularly with that EQ function. But you don't have to get super deep into it. It's as easy as creating a patch and plugging in and having a great sound. So this is not the kind of thing where you have to sort of geek out on all the features to make it work at all. I think it's very much plug and play as long as you have a compatible iPhone to access as the functions of this unit. I'm going to go out showing you what it sounds like if I'm strumming the guitar with a pick. I've been playing fingerstyle and dadgad because that's mostly what I do, and that's kind of what I was focusing on, getting a good sound for myself with this. But of course, a lot of people strum. I'm back in standard tuning here, so I'll go out showing you what that sounds like with the same patch I was using before. And I definitely encourage you to check out the additional videos that are on the LR Bags website that kind of get a little bit more deeper into the technology and how to create these patches. My name is Teja Gerken. Please come back here to Peghead Nation for more of our gear demos.